Hey. What's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome back to Power 108.9. I am Ebony Emma Pill here with Armand.
Come
Soul
on.
Malachi Kadima.
How many times we gonna do this?
We're not doing this today.
You cannot put my government name on air.
And we are.
No, you cannot put my government
Conscious
name.
Intercourse.
Okay.
We're not gonna do this today.
You expose people. You can't put people's real information online. You know what time it is?
Are we doing this today?
Yo, I'm famous. You just can't put my real info out there, man. You wildin', man.
You famous?
You wildin', man.
What's up, y'all?
Famous like Amos.
This is what happened when you take a holiday break. You come back, a little delusional, but it's okay. We're gonna get them right. We're gonna get them back on track.
Wow.
It's okay.
Well, I'm Batman.
You're Batman. Okay, now he Batman. See what I'm saying? Like.
Hey, you're a Batwoman, so stay in your place, for real, straight up. You wild.
I ain't Batwoman. So we got a special guest today, y'all. We got a little humor today. We're gonna loosen up today. Kind of chill out.
We're not loose every day.
No, you be uptight.
Man, watch out, man.
Right? You be uptight.
Yeah, got some haters up in here, man.
We got my girl, Keita funny ass in the building.
Yes,
what's up, Keita?
Yes.
Hey.
Y'all hear that?
Yes.
Whole lot of people outside.
Right.
Welcome
Thanks
to
for
Conscious
having me.
Intercourse. Absolutely. Thanks for showing
By the way,
up.
what happened to our intro? We're supposed to have like an intro, like,
Oh my goodness.
welcome to Conscious Intercourse.
Course.
You know what I'm saying?
Echo behind it.
Right? Yeah, like.
Work on that.
I'm saying?
Go ahead, work on that. Do it just like that.
Man, Conscious Intercourse.
Just like that.
Course.
Yeah, I like the intercourse. We're emphasizing the intercourse portion.
This one. So as you see, we on a roll. We on a roll already. This is the vibes for today. But we got my girl in the building. How you been, girl? What's up?
I've been good. I've been
You
out here
good?
living, soaking up the sun.
Yes. Yes.
Keeping that great melanin going.
That's what's up. What's up.
Forgetting I need sunscreen. You know what I mean?
You
Hold
know, we
on.
do
Black
that.
people don't need sunscreen.
That's
Yeah, we
that's
do.
what we
No,
that's what a
hold
lot
on.
of us think
What?
until we burning and peeling and
Yeah.
Look,
'Cause
I need sunscreen.
Man,
You need
black
sunscreen.
people,
I
real
just-
black people
I
don't need
just got back.
sunscreen.
Real
And,
black people.
yeah.
I'm sorry, you're right. Let me
Well,
rub
you
this
got all
off.
that European interruption, so I got it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
My
Now where we
bad.
going?
I know we
My
need
bad.
sunscreen
Yeah,
from
need sunscreen.
experience.
From experience, period.
The
Black folks don't need
shoulders going.
sunscreen. That's your activation of the melanin, right? Your skin has to activate, peel, and then generate this new layer. It's like being a superhero, right? You gotta take off that layer so you can embody your true essence. So
So
y'all just got it
then-
all twisted.
Why don't we peel when we're not in the sun?
What you mean? Because you're not getting activated. Like the sun is our superpower. That's how we get activated.
Oh, okay.
We are people of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like in Africa, in ancient antiquity, it was called Al-Bukalan. Al-Bukalan means people of the sun, right? So we are people of the sun. So if you cannot survive in the sun without supposedly burning, then you're not of the sun. Then you might as well renounce your black card. Give them to me. Give it to me. I'm
Look,
just saying.
it's okay. I got a little
Give them to me.
You need
Renounce it.
sunscreen.
little other things in my blood. It's
I'm
okay.
from Africa. We've never had sunscreen.
Okay, if you are of lighter melanin,
Yes, European interruption. Yeah, and if
You
you're
are-
Europeanly interrupted, yes, you require.
Europeanly interrupted.
so that means like my ancestors somewhere down the line, there was a Caucasian man or woman involved.
You already know what time it is.
You got it somewhere too.
I'm not. They weren't European. They were Asians.
You think because you just
I
darker?
got Asian interruption. Like
You got
Genghis
Asian
Khan.
interruption. They light a complexion too.
Genghis Khan. No, they're
They
not.
burn.
Yes,
they
they
burn
are.
up too.
Not Genghis Khan.
It's burning up.
Like wilding. Not the Mongolians. But anyways.
Yes, but
bad.
anyways, Keita, you
All
doing
that
your
on
comedy
sunscreen.
thing. You doing
Yes.
your comedy thing. How has it
Absolutely.
been?
It's great. You know, being a new comedian, it is still nerve-wracking getting on stage and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the beginning of the journey that I'm
Yeah.
going to take. But,
Okay.
you know, to be myself and still do something I like, I'm like, oh, this is what people talk about when, if you know, you're doing something that you like and don't feel like work.
It don't feel like work.
So I
Absolutely.
enjoy it
Okay.
Yeah.
bringing out different creativity sides.
And you funny. You funny as hell.
Well, allegedly, right?
She funny. I've seen her.
We just can't label her as funny.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
just she
It's
said
old.
she said she's a newcomer, a new.
So,
she said
that
she's
don't
a
mean
new
she ain't
comedian.
funny, though.
Like, when did you discover that you were supposedly funny?
A long time ago, back in the day.
Like, how?
I don't know. Like, I didn't really notice I was really funny until like I was in high school. I think I was funny prior to that. By high school,
Well,
me
what
and this,
happened? How you know? Tell us the story.
I was in sex ed.
Uh-oh.
And it was me. It was a group of us in class, of course. But this guy, you know, started talking about me a little bit reckless. And I'm just like, dang, I thought we was cool. And then I just couldn't help myself. Like, he had a little dent in his head. And we was already in sex ed. So I had educated him on how he got that dent.
Damn.
And I'm just like, your mom was pregnant with you. And that's your daddy's. You know.
Damn.
Wait, that's your daddy. What? What you tell him?
Your daddy's imprint on the top of your head. You know? Of course, I ain't
Wait,
said it
what?
that way. I don't remember how
So
the
you had the whole
conversation
class
went.
cracking up.
And we was rolling.
Wow.
You told him that's how he got this head.
That's how I told him. And ain't nobody ever said nothing smart to me since.
Wow.
But yeah, although I'm like new to the stand-up comedy,
Yes.
I have always been my natural self, which has been to be funny. So
Okay.
I have a great sense of humor, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you do. You do. Yeah, and you know, and it's not. Atlanta's not an easy crowd. You know.
No, it's a lot of uptight people here walking around with
Yeah.
wedgies left and right. Like,
Wow.
The thing is, it's Atlanta. Everybody is something. You know, you got
Wow.
artists. You got, you know, I'm a singer. I'm an actor. I'm a
rapper,
comedian, I'm a
right.
rapper.
This.
Everybody's something. So you got a tough crowd. You know, you got hard, tough critics.
That's
but,
true.
you know, you get through it. You know.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
That's very
Well,
hard.
that's therapeutic, right? To
Yeah.
be funny, right?
Absolutely. I love the laughter of others. I don't know, it softens up a part of me like, oh.
So you feel like you're giving back
Yeah,
by making people
I do.
laugh.
Like, I'm glad you're happy. I like seeing other people happy.
Absolutely.
It's a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but
I understand.
I feel really good. Like,
Okay.
I really like to save somebody's life. I mean, I know that's not what I did, but that's how it feels sometimes. Like,
Right.
man.
Because like you said, it's a lot of uptight, unhappy, bitter, just
Yeah.
angry people walking around. So when you get to brighten somebody's day,
Yeah.
make somebody laugh or smile, that's an
Absolutely.
accomplishment.
Yeah.
Life
So
is
did,
too short.
so did anyone inspire you? Did you have a favorite comedian growing up, or like was there any type of inspiration, or did you just say, "Oh, I'm funny"? And
I'm gonna
just
go
be
ahead and
funny?
shoot for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No,
Was there-
yeah, I had like a few, both men and women, of course.
Okay.
Found some more to be absolutely hilarious,
yes,
of course.
Some more.
The good, you
OG.
know.
Some more, yeah.
Some more. She's the OG.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her name is Melanie. Kachim. I always say her last name correct. Kamocho or something
Okay.
Okay.
of that nature. And then of course Cat Williams is
Okay.
absolute funny to me.
Okay.
And I really like him probably before some more, only because he talks about real events, but
Okay.
like he can make it funny in a sense, but it's just like he educating you, but
Okay.
it's like, damn, I ain't never thought about that. But
Yeah.
he put a
does.
comedic edge to it.
He does, and he's
Okay.
actually very educated.
Very.
He's funny, and people, you know, look at him and think he's a clown.
Yep.
Because he's that too, but he is educated. He's
Very educated.
intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, no. One day I don't know. I was like, maybe I could try that. And I don't know. I talked to a few people. They thought I should do it. I tried it once, like in Chicago.
Okay.
Way back when my locks was itty bitty, honey.
Wow.
Okay, they was like, here,
Well, that
they
was the ugly
The
stage.
itty bitty lock committee, huh?
the itty bitty lock committee. I was going through a struggle. I was rough around the edges.
Wow.
Man.
But you did it, and I
I
was
did.
there. I was there
Yes, you
at that
were
very
there.
first stand-up show. Yes,
Yes, you were.
I was there to
That
encourage
was a
my
good
friend to
time.
get up there and do her thing.
It's messed up because I wasn't even prepared, and they just like threw me on stage.
Yes, we did. Like, girl, get up there, do it, and she did good.
The host came like, oh, you know, you ain't gotta do it. But at this point, you already called me out.
Okay.
I can't be no, can't be no
You
punk.
gotta get up there and do it.
So I went with nothing prepared. So I probably did like 2 minutes, 2.5. I was
Okay.
like, all right, I think I'm nervous. I don't know what else to talk
She was
about.
nervous, but you couldn't tell.
I had like a heckler. They wasn't a bad heckler, but it was
Okay.
just like, nobody's talking to you, but you know.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
That's what's up. And you doing all this being a single mother,
Yeah.
raising a young man,
Yes.
young man.
Yes, a young inquisitive man.
Yes.
Yes. Questions after questions.
So how's that? How's that?
Man.
Motherhood and pursuing a career, as a single parent.
I've taught myself to remember that I have my own life. So being a single mom, I'm not always so wrapped up in my son because, of course, if I don't have a great career path or a future ahead of me, how can he? Right? So, I do balance the both. It is kind of hard at times, being that he's still kind of young. He's 6 years old, so he's a very needy little boy at this time.
Yeah.
Indeed.
He wants
Mama's
to be,
boy.
he wants to be up under his mom and stuff. So he does, he got a lot from me. He got his little funny sides, of course, and stuff like that. But I make the best of it.
That's what's up. You
Yeah,
do.
I find my time because comedy is at night. I don't need a babysitter at 3 p.m. to go tell some jokes.
Yeah.
It's
Do
usually-
you make yourself laugh?
Absolutely.
Do you walk around the house just laughing like,
I'll be cracking up, wishing somebody heard it. I'll be like, girl.
And she'll call me
just
like,
like
girl.
that,
Yeah, just like that.
And she
I'll
do.
be like,
And then she'll run her jokes past her friends like, hey, girl, listen to this. Listen.
right.
What you think about this?
And they be like, write that down.
Write that down. We just be random. Write that down. That's a
I
good
write
one.
that down.
okay.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
I love it.
That's what's up. Indeed, it's something to love. Like you said, you doing what you love.
Yes. Absolutely. And it is kind of nerve-wracking because, like anything else, you're always afraid somebody judging you, right?
Exactly.
I had to get past that fear in order to get on stage,
Of
as a
course.
matter of fact, because the first stand-up I did was so long ago, and I was nervous then.
Okay.
Now, when I had got on stage, I noticed that my nerves were no longer there, although it was that gap, but it was just like the thought of somebody judging me was no longer present in my mind.
Okay.
So when I got on stage, I was more comfortable and confident in myself. So,
Right.
but yeah, you always think of somebody gonna judge you. Is this gonna be funny? Are they gonna think I'm corny? Are they gonna, relate to me in any way? But I'm knowing now that you literally gotta read the room.
Okay.
Especially if somebody's before you. Okay, what are they finding more funny? Are they liking more excitement?
And the thing is, I think when it comes to comedians, do you? Because it's a space for everybody.
It is.
You know what I mean? There's a little, everybody ain't going to like you. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
And you have to be okay with that.
Because you still came here.
Period.
You still came here. You didn't have a choice but to see me. So whether you
Laugh
did
or not,
or
you're
didn't.
Yeah. Do you find yourself gravitating towards certain topics in your stand-up?
Ooh, good question. I think I find myself gravitating towards my kid.
Okay.
Of course, because I'm with him all the time.
Exactly.
I know there's parents out in the crowd, right? That
Right.
can relate to that. And then other would be sexual things, of course, and experiences. Not too crazy. Like, I don't be all graphic.
Yeah.
Well, you went so
No, I'm saying because that was your beginning, sex ed. So it's like literally, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Seems like that's what that was, that was
came
what
back full
that's what
circle, right?
inspired
It
you.
did.
That was your start, right?
It was.
So now it's like it comes back full circle is that, that topic that's discussed.
Yes,
know?
it did come back full circle, but
It's always an interesting topic.
it is.
I
You
mean-
can talk about it left and right. It can be totally different. It ain't even really got to be always sexual, but could be of a close counter or
Everybody
something
do
like
it.
that.
That's all we hear.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how we're all here. Yep. Thanks to women.
Allegedly.
How you
We
get
had to
here?
agree on it, right?
Well,
We had to agree. I guess so.
I guess.
Oh man.
Sure.
There was a spark that led me to be here.
I guess so.
I mean, life is funny. I mean, it's funny. It's funny. You'll find things funny in everything, even serious stuff. So, I think I'm funny.
What? You don't think she's funny?
She's
What was
funny.
that? What was that?
Yes.
You funny.
I'm funny.
You funny.
I know I'm funny.
It's funny how you say funny. You got to watch the word funny. Because you can be
meant
like,
what I
you
said.
funny. No, you funny. Okay, you funny.
You funny. You real funny.
You real funny.
Right.
So funny, yes.
But
Yeah.
there's laughter, there's humor in everything.
Absolutely. And if you can't laugh, and this is back again on sex, but if you can't laugh during sex with the person you're having with, like, are you that comfortable having sex with this person?
So you laugh during?
I don't mean like cracking up, but like there may be a moment. Let's say y'all was changing positions, y'all bumped head, and y'all giggle for a second, but you got back to it. You know what I mean?
Bumpy heads, all that, right?
It'll be a little small giggle. I mean, don't be in the bedroom cracking up or nothing like that.
But why not? But if it happens, let it happen.
But imagine you laughing with the person you having sex with. That just a little bit more comfort in that moment. Like, although we're adulting in this moment, but we can still find the time to. Okay, that was funny.
Right. To find the humor.
You gotta be tense all the time.
I feel sometimes when you say having sex, it just throws me off.
Why?
Making
Why
love.
throw you off?
Yeah, because it's just the way having
intercourse.
sex, it just throws me off.
What would you prefer?
Like she said, like making love, like that's,
Everybody don't make love though.
I mean, why not?
Because they're not probably in love with the person they're having sex with. Right. They may love that person, but
so why have sex with someone you don't love?
That's a good question, but it happens. People have sex to just have sex.
Why?
Because
there's that urge to get your nut out.
To
get to the point.
To get to the point, so you just randomly do it to anybody.
Yeah,
people randomly do it.
A lot of people.
Oh, well, I didn't mean you specifically.
Just to fulfill. You
trying to get me right now?
What we're not gonna do.
I'm just saying, we're not putting your business out there, right? Because you was like, oh my God, you got to be defensive real quick. Like, not me.
Well, no, just for viewers listening, they can catch keywords and they'll be like, oh, no, we're not talking about me.
And the viewers listen, no, everybody don't make love.
We're going to edit and chop that up.
We live, baby.
We talking about some edit and chop that up.
But a lot of people just have sex and there's no substance.
No rhyme or reason.
They just, like she said, getting off.
You have people who have their one night stands. You have people who meet somebody maybe a week, a month.
Yeah.
Maybe they just, they can't really focus on a relationship, but they do want that
connection.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a yearning for something, right? Is it really the urge, or is it to fulfill something that you're lacking? Right? Let's talk about that a little bit more. Like, what is that? Just an urge, like an itch. Just want to scratch your back. You just be like,
it's called being horny.
If you're the right horny person, I mean.
So horny, even the word horny is like, what is that? Yeah, please expound.
So what I was gonna ask actually was, I know I can't speak, of course, for everybody.
Yes.
But there is a higher percentage of men that are willing to sleep with any woman.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. As long as she was naturally a woman.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what she looks like.
Yeah,
booty big.
A lot of people don't even care about that.
Exactly.
But
okay. Right? Not cute in the face, no personality, but y'all be like her, right? It don't matter. Whoever going home with me tonight.
She looking at me. She giving me the eye. She winking.
She's the one.
She gonna get it.
But women have to find more of a connection before we actually sleep with that guy. Of course, if there is, she's not working on the street, not streets, but you know what I mean. She ain't selling her body.
Yeah.
But if a woman is to have sex with a man, she has to build that connection first. But men just be like, I can't see her face from behind anyway. Like, so it doesn't matter.
Butterface, right?
Butterface.
Right? They even
Butterface.
Right?
They did.
But her face.
Everything look good. Butterface.
That's that masculine energy.
So why is that?
That's masculine energy, right? So women don't do that, right?
Oh, I'm not saying women don't do it. Women definitely do it, but more so men do it.
So your question is like, why?
Yeah, why?
I don't do that. I don't know.
You don't do that?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to speak for all men.
Well, actually, I could provide a perspective. I can provide a perspective. Okay.
What's that?
Come
on, you can come into. You can come. He's like, I'm gonna lead us.
The studio audience has stood up.
He was like, don't answer that. It's a trap. Don't give away the secret.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, right, it's how we're conditioned, right? Literally, most men's first introduction to sex is through pornography, right? That was my first introduction to truly was sex. It was pornography through my brother. My brother was like, hey, watch this with me. Him and his boys, they put it on, and it's like, oh my God, what's going on here, right? So it becomes a thing where I'm looking at this TV screen or this magazine, and randomly, whoever that is to reach an objective, right? It's to reach an objective to reach ejaculation. And it's like, it's a fantasy that's created in your mind to just do this thing because it makes you feel good and ejaculate it. So it's almost like that alone. It's like you're doing it with your hand. So anything better than your hand is better than your hand.
And that's what I was talking
Right,
about.
so I'm saying. So, but it's because of the introduction to it. You are first introduced to this thing via doing it with your hand. Right? That's your first experience to it. Doing it to yourself with your hand. So it becomes, it takes the meaning away from it. It conditions you to only think about the end goal, not necessarily the process and the purpose as to why you're doing it. That's really the perspective that I could share in this moment about why men sometimes are like that, or to just like, oh, this is better than my hand. It's better than being at home on my hand. So,
Yeah, I
you know
guess
what I'm
so.
saying?
So that's why you do it with no emotional connection, no. Is that
love
what you're saying?
behind
With no substance behind it.
That's
just the
what
physical act
I
of
think
it.
it's a lot of it is our conditioning. Yeah, you know, a lot of our behaviors are conditioned. You know, it's people, period, not just men. I think women are also conditioned as well.
Absolutely, right? There are women and people in general who've been traumatized as children for whatever reasons, you know, whether it be molestation, or just not receiving the love and affection, so they don't know how to properly be touched, or don't know how to be affectionate.
To be loved, be affectionate.
You know,
there are
and
people who struggle with that.
Absolutely, people struggle with that, and a lot of adults struggle with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I don't know what to do, and people get real awkward when you touch them or even stare at them.
But it's also taboo though. Like even sex is, even as children, you know, sex is a taboo topic that most people don't talk about to children, right? It's almost like a bad thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, nudity and sex are like almost like evil and wicked. Like they're on, you know, things you don't talk about. So there's this then curiosity that is aroused by the fact that this particular topic or subject is avoided or neglected or ignored in a sense.
Right.
So it brings a lot more curiosity, and then you discover it through pornography, and then one thing leads to another, to where it's just like, hey, they just get it off. And then that suppressed energy is so suppressed, you know, because even for men, a lot of times men don't have the option to just get it whenever they want to. Because I feel like women a lot of times are more choose men than men choosing women. Because a lot of times it's like, that's what I'm saying. That's what the world has created, right? The world that we live in shows men chasing women. It's never the other way around.
Yes.
Right? And it's the women that she has essentially you know, what the man is looking for. So a lot of men don't have,
The man has what the woman is looking for.
Which is?
What, sex.
But you know, y'all picky though. It's gotta be particular.
I told you.
Yeah,
that's why I said the percentage of men sleeping randomly with women is higher than women.
Yeah.
But women
sleeping
still do,
with men.
like women choose.
Randomly.
Well, some women, exactly. Women ultimately make the final decision, because a man can say, hey, I want that. But unless there's, like you said, if she doesn't have that little connection, whatever it is, she's not going to go through with it, right? Whereas a man, he's ready to do it with whomever that's going to be like, yes.
whoever he has access to.
Exactly. So it's easier for him to get random anybody than to actually get the one he actually wants. Because the one he actually wants, he either got to pay for it or do some type of, you know, he got to do something, make her laugh, entertain her. And she's got to feel that connection for him to get an opportunity. So it's easier for him to be like, you know what? I ain't got time for all that. That's too much work.
But then you get men who manipulate to get what they want.
Exactly. So they'll lie, cheat, steal to get
everything.
Whatever they want.
Everything.
Be somebody else. Like, who are you right now? You know? Yeah. So it's so many things. But like you said, the conversation, the topic of sex is taboo, but it's the topic that needs to be discussed at a young age. We used to have sex education in school.
I don't think they have that in school anymore.
Well, because you have all these sexual orientations now. So it's like, what do we talk about? We don't want to offend anybody. We can't talk about heterosexual sex because we're going to offend, you know, gay people. And we don't want to talk about gay sex because we're going to offend heterosexuals. So let's just take it out. And now you got confused.
That's what the board decided to take it out
because
of the gender confusion.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I remember sex ed. We didn't talk about they just talked about the anatomy. But we really didn't talk about we didn't talk about the energies that go into it, right? And the urges. The urges, you know, these things that, you know, that we feel that we naturally at a certain age you just start feeling these urges to.
But that's supposed to be in the house. We're
like,
supposed to learn that at home. Parents are supposed to teach that.
Parents are.
You're not supposed to leave that up to nobody else to teach your child about sex education.
Yeah.
Especially not the public school.
But some parents think their kids are too young. They can be 15. They're too young.
No, that's true.
They think they're too young.
Oh, he's not ready yet. I don't want to talk to him about it yet. You better, because he probably already doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course probably already
she
know
probably
about
already doing it. Yeah.
But because it's a natural urge that occurs at a young age, and and it's there. Especially nowadays, it's in everything. I mean,
because how old was you when you start thinking about it?
I mean, Bugs Bunny used to get hard on every night. Like every time we watch the show, Bugs Bunny be like, you know what I'm saying? Like literally. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's been there since, Since I can remember, right?
No, and it has to be talked about. It was uncomfortable for me talking to my boys about sex. Yeah. But I'm like, I know I have to do it because I don't want to leave it up to nobody else to do it.
Absolutely.
So it has to come from me first.
Yeah, and it leads to a lot of confusion, misunderstandings, right?
Yeah, like it's okay. It's okay to feel like that. That's normal. It's all right. It's wet dreams are normal.
Yeah.
I still get them to this day looking at. Just had one last night.
It's normal. You know, but you gotta open the conversation up to have with your children, because you got some weirdos out here.
It's actually like the most important conversation we're to have, above all things, because ultimately that relationship leads to everything else in life. It leads to our, relationship with, partnerships and male and female relationships or marriages, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
It all starts with that experience or that understanding of what sex is and what those energies are.
Right.
Because ultimately that propels us for the type of lives and relationships we create with our romantic partners. So it's like, to me, it's the most important conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree. You definitely don't want to leave that out. I mean, you don't have to just go all in with the conversation, but when you do have
go
a
all
child,
in, like
I'm just saying you just do little by little. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because kids get real freaked out about it. They get like, "Mom,
no, they really don't because they already have a perceived notion about it." That's what I'm saying. By the time they're doing that, it's because they already know something. They've already received some type of notion about that thing, so that's why they're squeamish like that.
Yeah,
they've already made up in perspective. So it's like you got to get them before they even get there to where they're just
so
it's
where
like
it's not an uncomfortable topic.
It's like you talk about it. It's like, hey,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. See, my thing was always like, as a woman, I felt like it was a man job to talk to boys, right? So I was like, but you know what? Dad is, unfortunately, Dad is not around, so I have to do it.
Yeah.
So it had to get done.
Yeah.
One way or the other. But that's our tune. So we time to take a break, pay some bills, and we'll be back on the topic of sex education, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's what we talk about. We'll be right back.
Educated. feminine energy.
Conscious intercourse, where we intertwine and evolve our energies to raise the vibrations of our planet.
Elevates.
Right? So, have the conversations that are not easily talked about, right?
Exactly.
To discuss the things that are supposedly taboo or are swept under the rug, to be able to, propel our people towards a understanding, especially the dynamic between men and women, right? It's such a conundrum, right, in our current society. Right, because
Come on, big words.
You got the
you throwing them out there. Come on, educated black man.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Right?
Thesaurus.
Educated, right?
Okay.
Right. So you got the feminist movement, that's picking steam. Actually, no, it's here. It's full in effect, right? And you got the whole, masculine, whatever you want to call it, movement, right? To create
talking about America movement.
Well,
it's
by the patriarchy, right?
And
you got feminists are against patriarchy, trying to overthrow patriarchy. So there's all these cliche terms and nuances that are happening in our modern day time around the dynamic between men and women, right? Divorce is at an all-time high, right? And a lot of times, you hear about people in relationships, the one thing that they don't do is have sex when things start getting bad, right?
One of the first things that go.
Yeah, it's the first thing that go, right?
Don't touch
or
me.
making love, right? So there's this attraction notion to where people must have that, right? 'Cause that's the cardinal sin. Like having it outside of the relationship is a cardinal sin, right? Having it with somebody else, right? It's like there's all these things that these perspectives, these ideologies, these institutions that have dictated what this is supposed to look like between men and women, right? And we're beginning to recognize that it's not working. Men and women are at odds with one another, right? And so then it's like, how do we try to create a dialogue, a dynamic, a conscious intercourse on how to get better comprehension between men and women, between masculine and feminine, to begin to repair this breach, because it's a breach, right? We had an agreement, it seems like, between men and women at one point in time where it was understood, men do this, women do this, and it was cool, and everybody stayed in their lanes, and it seems like we had no problems. Now these lanes,
now it's the agenda. It's this, the agenda is to separate us. The agenda is to,
everybody play their role.
Yes, but to separate the family, the man from the woman, so it will cause that divide.
Yes.
And it's hard to combat that when it is everything that we know is set up around that.
Yeah. So as women right now, both of you are, what is the biggest issue y'all have with men?
Leadership. That's the biggest issue I come across. There's a lot of passive aggressive men that are out there, believe it or not.
Okay. Define passive aggressive. I never understand what that means.
Yeah, because you're probably an aggressor. You say what it is you want, that you need, versus a man who is just like...
Okay, well, we'll come back to that. But
I'm not saying not in a negative way,
because
aggressive can be in a positive way. Correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That can, very assertive. Okay. But somebody being passive aggressive is just like, you want me to read between the lines of what you actually want, and I don't know what you want. Okay. Just like, men be like, men are not mind readers, neither are women. And if you're I'm trying to think of an example as I'm telling you this, but I can't think of an example at this moment. If it pops up later, I'll just interrupt y'all and go about what was on my mind.
Damn, I'm thirsty.
Yes, that's okay. Well, go get you something to drink then.
The audience is very involved.
Yes, so basically like that.
Yeah,
absolutely, just like that.
Instead of just saying,
woman, give me a drink.
Okay. No. Instead of saying, can you please go get me something to drink?
Right, just giving hints. Hint,
just hinting towards
instead of just being assertive and speaking up.
Okay. A man leading, that's another lack that is going on, and it's just like, I don't know what it is that's going on.
So leadership, right? Yeah. Who determines what a man's leadership is, or what that entails?
You mean like for a couple, or
no,
like...
just period. You said the biggest issue is leadership in men, right?
Right. So if you want me to be submissive,
Yeah.
I need a reason to be submissive. I cannot be submissive to somebody who has no. Where are we going?
So exactly. So what's the reasons? Like, what are the reasons why a man why women should be submissive? You said there's got to be a reasons why a woman should submit. What are those reasons?
I should be able to trust me with you. I should feel protected while I'm with you.
Okay.
That's another thing. Of course, providing and things of that nature.
Okay.
You know, certain men are asking women to bring, or they ask, I'm sorry, what do you bring to the table? That seems to be like a very hot topic going on. Versus you want me to bring stuff to the table, but you want me to be submissive. You want me to bring things to the table, but I can't be too independent. So it's just like, I don't know what way to go if you're not leading. Of course, nowadays, a lot of women do have their independence, right?
Okay.
You know, we're working, we're making our own money and stuff like that. It's not that, I'm not going to say paying 50-50 on the bills is a bad thing, because it may not be a bad thing depending on how that couple has their financial situation set up. But if you have no end goal on where we're going and you just want me to do everything you say, I can't do that. Because what's the end goal?
Okay.
Why am I listening to everything you're saying?
So you mentioned trust, right? You got to be able to trust yourself with the man, right? So I'm assuming that's trust, right?
Right.
And then you mentioned provision.
Providing,
right? So mainly financial from a providing perspective, right? Right? Because we're in a modern day and time where it's about literally, it's not about the money, but it's for the things that money provides, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
You also mentioned protection, right?
Absolutely.
So man, trusting as well, that's another thing. You said trust yourself with a man. Talk a little bit more about that, because I just want to make sure I'm clear. What does trust actually mean? Like, trust yourself with him?
Yeah, like me being vulnerable. Can I open up and express something to you without you just immediately just going the opposite way of what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, are you taking my words for what they are, or are you interpreting them and changing it into something totally different?
Okay.
Like, I want to be able to trust that if I come home and I'm had a bad day, you can spend 10 minutes sitting down, not in your phone. Some men play games, not in the game or watching TV or whatever, and just give me your undivided attention. Can I trust that you'll listen to exactly what I just said?
Okay.
Can I trust, like, if I'm complaining about something that's even in the household, will you listen to what I'm saying? Or are you just there, just listening, just like, I'm just going to do this real quick so she can go on ahead so I can do what I got to do. So I do want to be able to trust that my man is going to be there for me.
Okay. So trust, provision, protection.
Yeah, we know what protection looks like.
Yeah.
Like, if I flinch at you and you go like this, like, I mean, you know, I don't really feel protected, because what happens if for example, so I went on a date.
Yeah.
And there was this guy I was dating, and it may have been long term, but some other stuff had happened. But we went on a date, and when we were out, we were standing next to each other. We were at this art museum. They playing music or whatever. It was like a trap in art type of ordeal. And while I'm with this guy, this other man approaches me and tries to talk to me. He wants to get my number, and he's trying to do it in a sneaky way. So first he asked, "Hey, is that your man?" I said, "No, that's not my man, but we did come together." He said, "Okay, before the end of the night, can I get your number?" I'm like, now you being disrespectful. And so he left or whatever. As soon as because the dude was leaning down or whatever. As soon as I leaned back up, you know, the guy I'm with asked, like, was he being disrespectful? Yes, he was. In that moment, I did feel, you know, what's gonna happen here? Is he gonna leave it alone? Not that I wanted a provider to be aggressive and address this man, because it was never that serious. I'd already deaded the situation. But he went over there and, you know, said his whatever he said. I don't know. But I did feel a little more protected, because this dude was being disrespectful. Like, how are you trying to
push up on me
when you see him with a man? Like, he may not be my man in this moment, but I'm with him.
Exactly.
But he took that as, oh, y'all ain't together. So, but in that moment, I did feel a little, I'm saying a little protected because nothing happened, but I did feel protected by this. Because he addressed the situation.
Right.
So
ultimately, if a man provides those main three things, you could be submissive.
I'm not saying only those three,
I
but
mean,
yes,
mainly,
yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being submissive and listening and learning. Another thing is learning. Are you able to teach me? Because if you're able to teach me, I have no problem also being submissive. Because now I can understand I don't need to be the more masculine one. Because, they say women are masculine nowadays. But if I can learn from you, I might, shut up.
Mm-hmm. If I can totally operate in my feminine, if I trust you to be the masculine.
Yes, absolutely.
Then that makes sense. Yeah.
If I'm only being masculine, is to survive. Because I have nobody taking that place of the masculinity. So,
which is the protection, provision,
all that, changing shower heads, putting up curtains, taking the trash out, manly duties.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty simple. What else is that?
As
for the main
my
things,
perspective,
right?
I think everything she said was on point. All that, I think that's very important in a man. But me, most of all, I want a man to have knowledge of self. Right?
Yes.
I need a man to know who he is as a man. I need you to be confident in who you are and what you do, and that speaks volumes. You could look at a man and tell he's confident in himself.
The way he walk, the way he speak, his head walking
everything,
in the way he walk in a room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's doing something right, and looking at his life. Is he the true provider of his household? Is he taking care of his children? Is he respectful to his mother?
Yeah.
All those things are important because it's going to tell how he's going to treat you. At the end of the day, if he ain't taking care of his kids, he more likely ain't going to take care of you.
No, he'll take care of you, but if you got a kid, that kid
it's going to come to light. A man, I have never seen a man that doesn't take care of his children be really good to a woman.
Interesting.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that. You've seen a man?
I've seen a man not take care of his kids and treat the next woman as if she's just it.
Okay.
But if that woman has that baby, then it's, and if he gets her pregnant, then it's on to the next. It's a thing.
So something happens when a child is created. From what you're saying, from an experience, like a man can be good to a woman, but then once a child is created, it's like on to the next.
Yeah, because now there comes the responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's having fun with that woman. He doesn't have much responsibility because 9 times out of 10 they're probably not living together at that moment.
Okay.
They're probably just having a good time. But once that baby comes into play, he really got to step up and be actually responsible.
Absolutely.
Now he got to think about his future. Okay, my next 5 years. And if a man that's not ready to really focus on their future, the better of their lives, then they're gonna run from that responsibility that would make them a better man.
That's right.
Okay.
That
Yes.
happens every
Yo,
time.
y'all had a
Studio
question
audience.
from the gallery back there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it talked about the word submissive, and the question was, why is it that only African Americans ever use the word submissive in relationships? No other culture
I personally
uses that word.
don't even like the word. I don't like the word submissive.
Why not?
Because when I hear the word submissive, it reminds me of slave. It's like, who am I a slave to? Now compromising.
Okay.
Yes.
That is the word for me. Are you or let me see another word for submissive. It's just not a good word. It's like we're both here. We're both here. Because honestly, a man could be submissive to a woman.
Absolutely, and he should be.
But when you hear it, it's always the woman being submissive to a man. In a relationship, I think it's a compromise. I think you both should take into consideration each other's needs.
Absolutely.
And like you said, leadership. If a man is showing the qualities of leadership, then a woman will naturally just fall in place. Absolutely. It's just the order of things.
Absolutely.
It don't have to be a submissive. Oh, you got to be submissive. I don't like the word. So it may be used more.
Yeah, it's used more in the black community because our homes are more broken up than anybody else's homes. They still follow their tradition all the way down. Ours was broken up so many times. I mean, at this point, we're just trying to survive and make it in and day out. So yeah, that word is going to be used more in the black community.
And a lot of black women just find that just so like, oh, you got to submit to your man. Like, what?
I mean, I think a lot of it goes to the church, really. Submissive comes from the Christian church and the black churches, because
Black churches specifically.
Specifically, yeah. Because
Why is that?
Because first and foremost, black people go to church in America, especially. It's the only place they will allow us to congregate. It's the only place. If you look at the entire history of American history, the only place that they really let black people congregate is church on Sundays. Anytime you try to congregate for something else, they break it up.
That's very true.
Right? So the church was where we were able to be conditioned to not necessarily just to submit, but submit as a race unto to others, right? Submit as a collective unto others. So,
Right.
but then to be able to do that, there was also had to be a submission role within the church as well, because the church talks about, the Christian church talks about how a woman is a man is to a woman as Christ is unto the man, right? So Christ is supposed to be almost like God to the man, and then the man is supposed to be like God to the woman.
Christ is to the church. I believe it's to the church.
No.
It's to the
The Christ says the part about I'm saying there's a hierarchy. I don't remember where it is. It's somewhere in the New Testament. There's a hierarchy that talks about the position, Christ, man, then woman.
Oh, okay, in the order.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
it's like
I've
the
heard
hierarchy.
that, yeah.
It's a hierarchy.
Okay.
It's Christ,
Okay.
man, and then woman. So therefore, woman submits to man submits to Christ.
To Christ,
Yeah.
right.
So that's literally, from my recollection, that was from the submission thing comes from the church. That's what is being taught
And
in
only the
Christian
black
church.
church.
I don't know. I haven't been to a lot of white churches, but I
I've
think
been
it's
to
there
them.
as well.
Don't. It ain't nothing against the Lord himself.
Yeah.
But there is a total difference between
Well,
a
we
black
know.
church and a white church.
Yeah.
I've been, and it's just like,
Yeah.
What's the main difference that you've noticed?
I'll do positive and I'll do pros and
Because
cons.
we know the obvious. Like,
the time,
right?
the time
The
is
music,
definitely
the vibe.
the music.
We
the
know
vibe.
the music is totally different.
But
the message.
the preacher or the pastor preaches differently. Of course, you have that black preacher, and I'm not talking about the occals or the vocals or whatever, going up and down. But the word given is a little bit more relatable in a black church versus a white church. They're not as well. This is the last time I went to one, but at that time they weren't as like, I wasn't, if you ever go to church or you like, oh man,
They
like
talking
this
to
was
me.
about me. Like
talking to
they
me.
talking to
That's
me.
it.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't feel that at the white church. It was more like, I don't need to be here. Like I do not need to be here right now. This is not
This ain't for me.
this is not for me.
talking
Like
Right.
did you understand anything he said? Wow.
Right.
For y'all that didn't hear that, he said I was sinning, but that's not true. But that is that difference. Like it just
Okay.
wasn't
It wasn't resonating. It
right, it wasn't
resonating with you.
resonating. I'm like, I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a difference there, but that's where
But that was a good
Yeah.
question. That was
that was a
Yeah.
good question.
to
Yeah.
know the whole
And
submission thing. Is
Because you think about it, you talk about marriage. Marriage
Yeah.
is based in the church.
yeah.
There's
absolutely.
a religious connotation to marriage institution as a whole.
Yeah.
So the whole submission thing is religion related. Saying based on what I just detailed earlier. So that's why it's so, because most of us as black people, grandmama, even your parents, everything was about church and Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
You have Jesus. Was everything growing up. Even watching Good Times, right? It was always Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So our entire structure, conditioning around marriage and relationships is around the religious connotation of it, right? So I think that's to answer the audience's question. I think that's
Yes.
why it's such a big thing
In the
around
black-
black community, because we all take it from the church.
Can a man be submissive to a woman? If so,
Yeah.
how much can he
So
submit?
I don't like you said, submissive is a word that I've used and I get it. I think for me, it's not really about submission, right? It's about everybody operating in their lane, right? Because men and women are inherently different. Well, the issue that I've seen in modern day and time is that we put men and women on the same set of expectations. We put the same level of expectations on both men and women, especially in marriage.
As far as
Roles.
Everything, roles, like the man can cook just like the woman can cook. The woman can cut the grass just like the man can cut the grass. Like the woman is supposed to go out to work and make money too, just like the man. It becomes more of a partnership, like a 50-50 partnership, right? and then you're expected to both then have this dynamic where you have a man and a woman, or this hierarchy or something. There's always something associated with how men and women are supposed to interact.
Right.
So it's like in one aspect of it, we're sharing responsibilities, financial responsibilities, and cooking responsibilities, and taking care of responsibilities. You're sharing responsibilities, but then it's like everything else becomes muddled in. It's like there's no differentiation between who's a man, who's a woman, right? Y'all both are wearing pants in the household, right? So it becomes muddled. You become the same person. And I don't believe, to me, relationships are meant that way. I think that's the reason why men are men and women are women. It's just different. Women are more nurturing, right? More.
That's the feminine.
Exactly. Women are more nurturing. They're supposed to typically be at home, like we're doing the nurturing stuff. That includes the taking care of the children and the cooking, household stuff, like managing the household things. And the man's supposed to be more masculine, where he's using his physical and to be able to go make money, cut down trees, bring the food, kill the animals, protect, keep the intruders away. But now it's like when men and women are both expected to do the same thing.
Because that's not
equally.
honored anymore.
Exactly,
it's not honored, or
equally.
people
So,
just think like it never should have existed.
Exactly.
The roles, it should have
Yes.
never existed.
And I feel, to me, that's the basis of the confusion,
Right.
of the distortion of the challenges in relationships. Is the fact that we're more like partners rather than actual, like the coming of a male and a female energetically to create a life of abundance.
Yeah, I hear that. It sounds very great
Yes.
when you put it in that aspect. But you
Correct.
do have men, and this is only from, watching videos and maybe my own experience, but you have men who are like,
Soft.
yeah, but you have men who are like, no, I'm not paying all of the bills. We can do 50. But then you do want a woman to come home. You still want her to work.
Yeah.
But now, like you just said, a woman is a nurturer. So now after she done worked all day,
want
she
her to
got to
come
come
cook and
home. She
clean.
got to cook. She got to
Correct.
clean
Take
up.
care of the kids.
I don't clean. I'm not cleaning the toilet. I done been at work all day because you didn't use your hands, whatever you did
Right,
at work.
right.
You can't do that. You don't want to clean up afterwards because you feel like that's not
Manly.
my duty. That is
Exactly.
a woman's duty. But I'll do anything if you need something hanging up around the house. But
Yes.
you won't put like the dishes in the dishwasher after I done made everybody food. And they be like, who eats first? The men.
The big
the
piece
children.
of chicken.
The children.
No, Chris Rock laid it down. The
do you
man gets
say?
the big piece of chicken. That's how that works. Like what? That's not even a question. He gets the big piece of chicken.
It wasn't
Listen,
about that
I-
big piece. It's just who eats first is what they was
with
asking.
the humor in that, I think it's true. Take care of the man because the man is taking care of the house.
Yeah, if he's out there working
If
and
he's
grinding and
that
providing,
is
right?
the thing.
If he's out there
like
doing
If
James,
he's
like,
taking
like
care of
how
the
James
house.
was doing it. James got home, ate first.
Right.
I'm saying?
That's right. And she made sure.
1970s.
but I'm saying, but that's
But sometimes we need to go back to that.
I'm
Sometimes we
saying.
need to go back to that. We lost total order. What's
Okay.
up? What's up, audience?
Studio audience has a lot of comments today.
Right.
Because I love this conversation. Because I'm an old head,
Okay,
but I got a young vibe.
allegedly.
And I think I do. but I think like one thing that's crippling our generation is the fact that we can't let go.
Of what?
Old traditions.
Okay.
We can't let go. There was a point in our lives where we would never have thought that we would be talking about gays in church. That would have never been mentioned in the 70s and 80s. Now
It's
we
mentioned.
talk about it. I would have never thought we would have had a black president, but we did. Never would we be having conversations about a man that wants to become a woman. Now we have to classify them as being a woman, and if not, you get canceled.
Right.
Our generation has to understand that, excuse my language, shit is changing. And if we're gonna keep keeping this old mindset, oh, well, back in our day when we did this, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna be that guy that's gonna be stuck in that generation, and you're gonna be looking like the Cat Williams and me and my wife and kids.
My
I don't
wife
know
and
if you
kids.
remember when Bobby Shaw came back and was stuck in a generation. Like, we got to let it go because it's not going back to that. Because we keep having these conversations about sex education and what we learned back then versus what is taught now or what is not taught now. yo, we getting old and the world is changing. Hey, there's
I
nothing we
think
can do
that's
about it.
very true, but some things worked. Like some of the old things work, and they say if it ain't broke,
Such
I
as,
mean, don't fix it.
such as.
Such as roles, such as a woman being a woman and a man being a man.
But we just said that though. I work all day as a man. You work all day as a woman. That don't mean you got to come home and cook and clean and all that kind of stuff. We got to share those responsibilities.
But that has to
Correct.
be established. It's like
Yeah, not only that, to me, I have a challenge with that because it then makes them equal.
we should
Right.
be,
And you
though.
have a problem with
We should
it's
be.
not equal. It's that to the point where it's like we're exactly the same. Men and women are not the same. A man is a man. A woman is a woman. Certain things are just not interchangeable.
What name you
Naturally.
going by today? I don't want to use your government.
your
What's
government.
your government? I don't want to use your government today. I know I should be messing it up all the time. I don't want to do that.
I'm just saying it's so Malachi, right?
So Malachi, yeah.
Yeah.
But you think about it though. Let's go back to the caveman days.
yeah.
A caveman would knock a bitch in the head.
Yeah.
And pull her by her hair and say, "You mine."
Actually, we were never in caves.
yeah,
but-
you
okay.
talking
know, I'm
about
just
the
saying-
Okay,
cul-
that's what
no, I'm just
culture.
saying,
They
though,
still do
That's
that
not
today.
us.
We was
That's
never in
not-
caves.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying though. But you
Yeah.
think about how the relationship has evolved over the years.
Yes.
You don't have to evolve, but
Yeah.
everybody after you, they're going to evolve. And my thing is, don't look at them and say, "Oh, you ain't doing it right."
Yeah.
This is what they want to do.
Yeah,
And that's
but
how they change.
the challenge is it's not working. So they could do it, but the divorce.
But
people
who is
are
it not
divorcing-
working too?
No, because they're not staying together. People are cheating. So it's the thing. People are continuously cheating. There's a side chick
And women are
epidemic.
being masculine.
It's like it's happening. So, but you're saying
You
that's the
know?
evolution. The evolution. So it seems like we're evolving to not having relationships that are supposed to be
Right,
this
Okay,
and
life.
it's,
then that's the
separating us
point.
further and
So
further
that's the
away.
point. So
So
let's
is
go
that
back-
evolution?
So you're saying is that we are evolving to a society that eventually will be relationship less. It's going to be just about figuring out whatever works at the time
Yes.
and the circumstances.
That's what it's gonna be.
And it's not about coming together and building a family and traditionally how it was. It's more about, hey, we're gonna do this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We just keep it moving, right?
go.
Like no rules, no
It's
nothing.
just flowing with the agenda. That's what it sounds, 'cause there's-
just going with whatever,
with the
whatever
agenda.
gives. That's what we're evolving to.
But you said you made the point like, oh, people aren't getting married, they're not staying married, they're
Yeah.
getting divorced. Well, who said that we're supposed to be married in the first place?
Exactly.
Who said that we're supposed to be with one person in the first place?
Exactly.
Who made that rule up? So the thing is,
Yes.
was it ever supposed to be like that?
Exactly. So we got to throw everything out of the window then, right? To say, okay, you know what? Everything's out the window. Like just do
to unlearn
whatever you see fit,
everything.
right?
I think it all begins with the man, if you ask me.
As far as what?
As far as everything. As far as, like you were mentioning, okay, y'all both have the same view, but in different ways.
Yeah.
You were saying, like, as far as, men cheating and
Yes.
stuff like that. Or actually, it was you. You was like, women being more masculine. Well, I mean, I would personally rather be by myself and take care of my business, work, and do everything that I was going to do anyway with a man versus him cheating on me, because that's what men do. Men have that urge. Men are going to do that. They're supposed to have other women. They're supposed to be with more than one woman. But then there's an issue when a woman has that same thing. Then all of a sudden she's a hoe, she's a whore, she's too masculine. She needs to sit down and all of that. You're shaking.
I was shaking my head. Not today. Not to the youngins today.
Because it's the norm now.
It's the
It's the
norm now.
normal.
You said me personally. We're talking about the norm now. The norm now, it doesn't matter to them because they're letting you know this is who I am. And the thing with our generation was the fact that we were scared to say
That's
who
true.
we are.
Y'all were sneaky.
We were being
Yeah.
sneaky.
That's very
Our
true.
granddaddy was being sneaky. Granddaddy had family we didn't even know
We
about.
didn't even
His
know
grandma
about.
But
stayed married.
but men
They
been
stay
cheating for
married.
a very
Absolutely.
long time.
Right. And
Absolutely.
us as men, okay, we born in the 70s, we gonna play this role like, oh yeah, we're happily married. However, we outline the chicks, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and saying
So-
we're not married.
Taking
And
your
then
ring
now it's
off.
gotten to a point to where now married men don't even lie no more. They say, yo, I'm married.
Right.
If you're trying to get down, we can get down.
But
And
you
if
have
you
to
say
be
no,
right.
guess what? There's another one out
That's
there
gonna say
that
yes.
will do it and say, okay.
Yeah, but a lot of those married men, their wives don't know that.
No, they don't know.
So why doesn't
And
the
you're
wife
still
know
being
though? So I'm
sneaky.
saying you're still being sneaky.
But that's
You
why
may-
polygamy is so big. That's
Yeah.
why why
Right.
people being in other relationships.
So are we simply then evolving into more of a free society?
Yes.
Because when I was
Yes.
younger, I remember we used to talk about heaven, right? What heaven would look like. Heaven was like there was no marriages in heaven. Everybody just running around happy.
No bills, I know that.
You know what I'm saying? No bills.
None of those.
No
Ain't
bills.
none of
You know what I'm saying?
those.
No bill.
God drop a service fee.
You
You should pay a service fee every year now.
This is interesting, right?
If you
It's
want to
like-
make it up here.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like it was no bills, right? Animals was cool. Everybody was just free, right?
Right.
But I'm like, were people in heaven? Are the people gonna have sex and make love with each other? Right? Because it's now this free society where there's no bonds. It's like everybody's
That's what
just
I'm
free
saying.
to do
And
whatever
it's
you
like
want to
that's
do.
where
So
we're
it's like,
getting
are we
to.
evolving to this utopia where
Is
it's
that-
like
is that
there's
evolving?
there's no attachment, no ownership, no saying this is my man, this is my woman. It's like, hey, we're here as human beings
for
to
the
have
streets,
this experience.
sis. He
And
for
we're,
the
and we're gonna
streets.
share everything. This woman wants to sleep with 15
them
men.
on.
Let her sleep. This man wants to do this. It's almost like let's just be free and do
But
whatever we want to be free.
anonymous host that we don't know your government name.
Right?
You specified it and you said heaven.
Yes.
In heaven,
Correct.
are people going to say? Think about the people that don't believe in heaven.
Yes.
Think about the people that don't read the Bible. Think
Yes.
about the people of other religions that think, yo, when I die, it's a wrap.
No.
You got to think about
Yes.
that because everybody doesn't.
No, what I
think that
mean
we're
by
going to
that,
heaven.
what I mean by heaven is simply because they're creating a heaven right now. Because heaven is now. That's why they want to be free. Because it's not about going somewhere else. So heaven,
right
I'm gonna
here.
take my
heaven is more-
chances right
Right
here.
here.
For some people, it's been this state of mind that's somewhere else. But most people begin to realize that heaven is now
right here.
Let's create. What I'm saying. So let's create this utopia right now of
That's a
freedom.
great point.
That's what everybody's like.
That's a
I want to
great
be
point.
free now. I don't want to lie.
That's
I want
a
to be
great point.
happy. This
Right.
being what they call it, living a life of quiet desperation. Like nobody wants to live that anymore. Nobody wants to be in this relationship where they're looking at
Right.
porn every single night because they want to fantasize about being with another woman, or they don't want to go to the strip club because you know what I'm saying. Like
But that's why
people
marriages
wanna be
don't
free.
last,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
they feel like they can do better. I can do better.
So marriage is outdated. Is that what I'm hearing?
outdated,
Marriage
yeah.
is an outdated institution. We now
Because
are
people feel like they
evolving-
can do better.
No, it's not
not
about doing
that
Because they feel like they don't want to be
better.
locked
It's about
down. They
being
want to
free.
have
It's about being
choices of
free.
being free and do
It's about being
whatever.
freedom.
You know?
It's about having be like, yo, I'm free to. If I meet a woman tomorrow that I want to be with, I want to be free to be able to explore that, right?
Because in your mind, you believe you could do better.
No,
You
it's
would
not
never
about-
leave better.
It's not about
to-
better. No, it's about the experience. It's not
Okay.
about better. It's about the experience. Saying, hey, I still like you. We're still cool. I love you. We can have fun. But if I go out with my boys tomorrow and some, little hot lady or whatever, people say hot. I know. But anyways, so I meet some women and we're vibing.
They
I
don't, but-
want to be free to explore that. Right.
Yeah.
So without having this guilt in the back of my mind that I promised her that I'm gonna be with her to death do us part. Now, if I do this over here, I'm now breaking her heart. Now I'm in conflict because I really want to do this. It's gonna make me happy, right? But I don't want to break her heart over here. So now you're a conflict, right?
Anonymous host,
Yes.
let's be real.
H.
Yeah, and a husband doesn't cheat on his wife because it's something that she's not doing. It has
Nothing to do with
that.
her.
This
It
is
does
It
what-
has
not.
nothing to do. We were
Exactly.
just
It's
joking.
nothing to do with her not being enough.
It has nothing to do with her being
Exactly.
enough. It's
Exactly.
because of us.
It's a
'Cause he
choice
wants
you
to do
make.
that.
It's because of us. Because
Yeah.
if you find somebody that's going to give you that opportunity,
Yes.
and they're going to be cool with it, we're going to take
You're gonna
it.
take it.
Yeah.
It has nothing
Every
to do
time.
with that.
But is that
Yeah.
a masculine trait, though?
It's not. I'm not going to say masculine trait. I'm not on that level. I just go back to the point that who said that we should be with one person for the rest of our lives?
Agreed.
That's the root.
Yes.
Why should we be with one person for the rest of our lives?
Yeah,
I
you're right.
made the decision back
Yes.
in 1996.
You did.
Yes.
You're
I
married.
made the decision back in 1996, and me and my
Yeah.
wife laugh all the time. 27 years this year,
Yeah.
and I always say if something mysteriously happens to you,
Yes.
right? You
Yes.
drown because you can't swim or something like that.
Damn.
I'm not doing it again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't make that decision again
Yes.
because that's not who we were supposed to be in my eyes.
Interesting.
Correct, because Jesus said it, right?
They ain't got nothing to do with Jesus.
He's the one that said it. You know?
I don't know.
That's
I
what
don't know what
my
Jesus
auntie-
said.
That's what
I
my
don't know
auntie
who's
be telling me.
Yeah, I don't know what Jesus said.
No, but
I'm with you though.
But it's interesting point. But that's because it's almost like the evolution piece that you brought up is very critical. That we are evolving
Yes.
as human beings, and this is what the future looks like. This is where we're going to almost like a institutionless society, because they talk about the age of Aquarium. They're talking about Aquarius rather was supposed to be a more of a collaborative kind of free type
The
of
zodiac
energy.
sign?
Yeah, supposed to be more of a collaborative, like free type of experience, right? Where government is supposed to follow, institutions like traditional institutions like governments and schools are all supposed to fade away, like the churches. Like all this stuff is like fading away. People don't go to church anymore. People are homeschooling, dropping out of schools. People are not really practicing traditional.
No accountability.
marriages, and it's almost just a free world, like almost like what heaven.
It's free for
assume-
everybody but the black people.
And why is that? Is that because we still
That's not our fault.
stand? I know. Slavery put
I'm
us
talking
back.
way after that. Yeah.
I'm just saying though, is it because we still stood on those old principles for so long
And still
We
feel
continue to do-
inferior.
like
Inferiority
real talk, like I know
complex.
this. I know this
Yeah.
conversation. This is a great conversation. We were beating our kids in 1970 and 80 and 90, and you can still see black parents today in 2023 that beat their kids. That at no point did they ever think about when they watched Roots and saw the slave
That they
master
were
beating Kunta Kinte,
Yes.
that was going to do something to a child. Whenever I hear somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat my kids,"
Yeah.
I think about y'all in that same freaking mentality.
Yeah.
Stuff evolves and changes. When the last time you listened to a CD?
Bro,
You
I
haven't.
saw one. I found one the other day.
When
but
last time
yeah.
you put a VCR in a machine? It's been
So
a while.
everything is evolving.
We're evolving, and life is evolving faster. Think about it. We talked about that before. Life is evolving faster than we've ever seen it before. The time from a goddamn laser disc player
Right?
to a DVD player,
Yeah.
that shit took 15 years.
Yes.
Think about going from social media in 2009 with Facebook
Yeah.
to now we're doing artificial intelligence.
Actually, I need to get ChatGPT on the line.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to get ChatGPT's perspective on this conversation.
So we gotta,
No,
we gotta
that is-
goddamn, we have to evolve. Our
Yeah.
mental has to evolve to where we are today. No offense to people that want to stay back there in the 70s and the 80s. No offense. However, that's why I keep this young mentality. Like, I got to stay up with these youngins, because if not, I'm going to be
Yeah.
that old ass uncle.
Because especially for those that have children, because it's
Unc ass
like,
need to sit down.
Right, right.
No, especially
Yeah.
for those that have children, because we're trying to teach them what we know, right?
Right.
We're trying to be like, oh, fit in this box. You're supposed to do this way, right? And they're like looking at us
No,
like, man,
like,
y'all
you old.
tripping.
We don't
Like,
do that
right,
no
why
more.
is that? Like, you like, so I'm saying, like, we'll do that. They'll be like,
Yeah.
Dad, we won't do that.
Right. No more.
Right.
They'll be like, Dad, you can't even say certain words. They'll be like, Dad, you can't say that word.
Can't say that.
You gotta say neurodivergent.
This is my last comment. I'm gonna get out of here. Let y'all finish y'all show. So for Christmas, my son
Yeah.
bought me a PlayStation 5 for Christmas.
Wow, that's what's up.
Oh, he
That
got
was
money. How old is your son?
Stop.
She said, since we're in this free society, right?
it.
Since we're in this
Stop
free
it.
society, he's got money.
Since he
You know what I'm saying?
buying
Right?
PlayStation 5s. Okay.
Watch this. His dad was checking you out.
And like you
Here we
said,
go.
you gotta get you another, because I don't do married men. That's not my.
So he bought me a PS5 for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So for Father's Day, let me go back. So we supposed to go to the Drake concert. So he bought
Drake
him and
concert
I-
tickets too?
So he bought us Drake
snap.
concert tickets
Uh-oh.
which was supposed to be Sunday, I think it was, but they
Yeah.
moved it. So
Yeah.
he bought Drake concert tickets for him, Drake
Yeah.
at 21, but they moved the concert to August. So for Father's Day, we came up with a scheme to say, he was like, Dad, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the tickets off. I'm going to put them in your card, because we're trying to finesse Mama on why we spent all this money on Drake tickets. We're going to put it in the card, so you got to act surprised. I was like, Bet, I got you. So Father's Day come a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. I opened up the card, reading the card. Oh, what is this? Oh, Drake tickets. Oh, I love you, son. We're going to see Drake.
The best son ever.
My wife said, yeah, my best son ever. My wife says, he always get the good gifts.
Wow.
He got a PS5 for Christmas. He got Drake tickets. And my son said, he caved in and said, Mama, we been bought these. These is a long time ago. So he already snitched. So
Yeah.
I already know he going to snitch on your boy.
Wow.
But you know what he told her? He said, you got to be more specific. You got to be more specific in what it is that you want. Because mom is the type of person to say, oh, I just want some running gloves.
So she's passive aggressive.
Or a hat. No, it's not passive aggressive, but it's not asking for what it is that you want.
Well, she may believe that she doesn't want to ask her son for a pricey gift.
Right.
That could be a mother thing. I don't want to ask my child for something too,
I like
too
plants.
expensive.
Yeah.
I like this. I like that.
But going back to my point is, I'm the type of guy, I'm going to be specific.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
If you ask me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I want. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I'm a dad, and I would never ask my son to buy
I
me
would
this."
never.
I would never do that. Nah, nigga, I want a PS5. I bought you one back in the day. I want one.
Oh, you
Yeah.
just want your return. That's
Exactly.
So does this go with men being more upfront or what is this? And women just being more general
Just letting
and not
stuff
getting to the
happen?
point? Is that what you're
Right.
saying? I mean, so maybe that's just who we are, you know? Maybe that's just who we are. Not everybody is like that.
Not all women are the same.
I don't think so. I mean, we may
Now,
be.
everybody can't be the same,
Everybody
right?
can't be the same.
Right.
But that was an interesting point. But I think no.
Yeah, everybody can be the same, but we do know that there are certain things that make us male and female.
Right.
So is that
And those are certain things, and not
one
Is that
thing.
only
Well, two things.
Is that only anatomically?
I think there are certain things with how we are
Is that-
evolving.
That works.
Is
How
that
we
only-
evolve
I know what you
into
meant.
whatever.
The
Is that only
anatomy.
anatomically or
I don't think
anatomia?
through us evolving it should change
Anatomically.
a woman being a
And not-
woman.
and not- Anatomy?
Anatomy.
No, that's not.
And
what
then
he's
no. Okay, you guys are not educated. So
No, you were on the right.
Educated callers, please call in and help us figure out how to spell this word.
I don't even know what you're
Pronounce
trying to
this
say.
word.
He's trying
In
to say
iniquity, antiquity.
No, anatomy.
Anatomy? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's not the word he's
but
trying to use, but-
Anatomy.
Oh my God, just
I'm trying
stop.
to say,
Is it male or female?
Are,
Is it just
we're only different based on our anatomy, right?
Yeah.
Or is the anatomy or also lent to our behaviors or our perspectives or how we view the world?
I can't really say that because
Yes,
there
and
are.
that's the feminine and masculine. Women are naturally we're nurturing.
But that's what I'm saying. But what we're trying to say, are we evolving out of that?
I
Are we
think
evolving to where?
if you listen to what he's
are we
saying-
evolving to where men can be
Women,
nurturing,
and that's what it's-
exactly, and vice versa, right?
And I don't
Everybody can
think
be whatever
everybody
they wanna
to each
be.
his own. To
Right.
each his own. Do what you feel, whatever it is that makes you happy. Do that, but you don't have to evolve to what everybody's evolving to.
Yeah, you're supposed to
It's
like
not
what
a
you
rule.
like. It's not a rule.
If you want to be married, be married. If you believe in partnership or unity and
or
and
paying
marriage,
50-50 half of your bills and still doing everything else.
if
with
it
that
works
man,
for you,
it works for
fine.
you.
Find what works for you. You stick with it and wish
Absolutely.
you the best. Right?
But there are some men that are becoming very feminine.
a lot of men.
So exactly. So
And
this, but
instead
the
of
thing
expressing
but,
your
but the thing about it
emotions-
is, a lot of times when men, so for example, we talk about that.
Yeah, let's do that.
So when you talk about a man being 50-50, he's not being masculine because he's expecting you to bring something to the table.
Right.
Because he's afraid, or for whatever reason, he doesn't want to be the provider wholeheartedly. Right. So therefore, to me, that's that feminine. You know,
Very feminine.
Exactly. That's
Very
that's the feminine
feminine.
transition.
Very feminine.
So then it's like, how do we then identify what a true man is? Right, man, because there's
And this is a conversation that go on all day
because it's like because there has to be
I need my man to take
there has to be
charge.
there has to be a differentiation between feminine and masculine energy.
Yeah, it
right?
has to be.
And so, and what are those things? We have to identify what those things are for masculine and what those things are for feminine.
Because you'll have a man
right?
swearing up and down he masculine, but still be asking for a woman to pay half the bills. And,
Exactly. So
you know, and
And I
Correct.
believe, and I'm not saying like I wouldn't be able to help my man in any way, but let's say I'm in this relationship and he is taking care of all of the bills. Of course, I would pay for other stuff. You know what I mean? I would get groceries and do a light bill, pay
or
for
just make sure
trips
you're
or something like that.
You're caring for the home. Make
I'm
sure you
caring
have
for
a
the
meal.
home. I'm gonna care for the
every
home.
time he come in.
If my
You
man
know
is
what I'm
paying
saying?
all the bills, as soon as he step foot in the house, the food gonna be already on the table. He ain't got nothing to worry about because I don't have to pay the bills.
And that's the
Now I'll
role.
be at home.
That's the role that I don't.
Not
think
all the
should be
time, but just
changed.
around dinner time when you get there.
Right.
I'm gonna be handling other stuff.
And I think that's why, you got a lot of bitter, unhappy, angry women. And then they say the angry black woman because a lot of women are forced to be masculine.
Yes. I'm
it's
upset.
not a good
I gotta do
feeling.
all this shit by myself.
Absolutely.
I'm very angry.
So we don't
And you
want
asking
that.
for my number because you trying to smash. But meanwhile, I gotta pay my light bill, my phone bill,
Period.
water. But all you
Right.
want to do is have sex, but you don't even care if I'm eating today.
You see what I'm saying?
You want to know how this
I
booty
don't
got
care
big?
what
Because
this world is
I bought
evolving
my
to.
groceries.
I'm going to stick to what I know and what I
Absolutely.
believe to be right. And a man should be a man and a woman should be a woman.
Absolutely.
But that comes with certain like criteria
Traits
and
and stuff.
traits. Exactly.
It does. But
You
as
know?
long as that's established, if you want a man, if you want a manly, masculine man, you got to, first of all, know what that is. And let your man know that that's what you expected him to be.
Yeah, you can cut out a lot of BS men in the beginning when you tell them exactly what you want.
Cut it out. And if
And
you run, let him run.
If they can't provide that,
Man
they
up.
will be gone.
Man
You'll never
up.
hear from them the second they walk
Period.
away from you.
So to each his own. I respect, anybody who do whatever they need to do to make themselves happy.
Yeah.
But I don't think nothing is wrong with a man being a man and a woman being a woman. I think we need to get back to that. We need to get back to the sacred family.
But still have
yeah.
unity.
Unity, but also transparency and authenticity. Because you may
Absolutely.
find a man that's very masculine, but he may want to dabble with other women, right? That's part of
Well,
him
he
being
need
a
to stay
masculine
his
man.
ass
And that's fine.
No,
And if
it's not about being single. It's about that's who he is as a man, because that's a part of masculine traits. A lot of masculine men have a lot of energy and have a lot of things where they interact with other women to get energy to be able to pursue whatever they're
No,
pursuing.
y'all want your
right?
ego stroked and boosted
it's not-
24/7.
It's not about
the
ego.
thing
It's not about
is,
ego
like I said,
stroked.
to each his own. If a
Yeah.
woman don't
No,
mind being with a man like that, then that's her.
It's not about the
You
ego
know?
being stroked. That's a masculine trait. That's what I'm saying. We got to be able to identify what is masculine and what is, because most women only, because I hear a lot of women, 90% of women that I always hear, they're talking about, I cannot be with multiple people. I can only be with one person at a time, right? Men don't say that. Men can be like, I never hear men, I want to be with only one woman. That's very rare.
And it's
then-
crazy because y'all have no standards when it comes to that, but have the nerve to ask, what do you bring to the table? Why all of a sudden does it matter?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying a true masculine man that truly wants to operate that way. It's like these men are not, because you got to live up to it. Like you look at polygamy and antiquity, you got to be able to take care of these 3, 4, 5 women.
That's the part.
And they can't do that.
And they
You got to be able
They
to
can't
get
do
them.
that.
You got to be able to get them each a house, right? So it's like
Whatever you do for one, you got to do for all of
exactly.
them.
So you gotta be able to get them each their own house and all these things. So women cohabitating in the same house is gonna be a challenge. So if you want to live that type of lifestyle, you gotta be able to afford to having multiple women in different
they
houses.
can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. But the thing about it is, that's what a high value man or a masculine man might have to bring. Because for example, there's literally a side chick epidemic that's happening, right? I call it
Side chick epidemic.
Yes,
it
it's like
is.
some women
and some women would rather be the side chick because they don't have
no pressure at all.
No, it's not about no pressure. She'd rather be with a true masculine man than to be with a feminine one. It has nothing to do with what y'all are saying. It's more of, I'd rather deal with a real masculine man than be with a feminine one. I don't want to be this, like they don't want to deal with these feminine men that are out here. So I'd rather share this masculine man. I'd rather have 50% of a real man than 100% of a feminine man.
And
that's to me. That's the
and that's low
perspective.
self-esteem. If
It's
you
not-
ask me,
no, it has no
I
low
wouldn't.
self-esteem. Because
But he's not giving his all
no,
to you. So why would you want to be with a man that is not giving his all to you?
Because 100%, this is the thing. It's about men and women are different. Women do give their all to one person because that's how they are naturally. Men are not like that. That's what I'm trying to say. We got to differentiate between man and masculine. We're different. A lion has 3, 4, 5 lionesses.
Every
right?
woman is not like that.
No.
Every woman is not like that.
It's not like
Every
because,
woman.
but I feel like those women are more masculine because they're carrying that masculine energy. Because that's why they can. Because that's what I'm saying. Because we are saying there are feminine men, there are some masculine women. To me, women that are that can manage 3, 4, 5 different dudes out simultaneously, those are masculine women. But there's nothing wrong with it. We just have to identify for what it is.
You mean like at a long period of time?
No,
or
simultaneously. There are women out here who
once.
want to be simultaneously deal with multiple men. The women do it all the time. It's
Yeah, they
happening.
do.
I feel like those women are more masculine because that's just they embody more masculine energy. Just like you got a lot of men who want to be, I'm your all woman, but they can't pay all the bills. They want you to, they're going to commit themselves to you like a woman would typically, but they want you to pay the bills. Actually, some of them don't even work. They just stay home dad. They want to be at home nurturing, cooking, and cleaning while you're at work as the masculine energy. The roles are being flipped.
Yeah, they
The
are.
roles are being flipped.
So it's like literally, yeah, we're running out of time, but we got to do part two on this.
We got to do part two on this clearly
because this
goes on and on.
Yeah, because we just
got
so
many perspectives on this topic.
Yes.
So
Well, thank you for having me.
absolutely, Keita.
I enjoyed it. You guys are nice.
Keita, funny ass.
Usually our guests bring us gifts. Where you get that? Man.
Keita, let us know let everybody know where they can find you.
You gotta make us laugh before you go out. Like
You've been giggling since you've been here. I ain't come for like an end of a set joke or something.
Yeah, give us something to take home.
Let us know
give me that punchline.
All right, you guys can find me at Keita Funny Ass. That's KITA Funny Ass all together on Instagram, YouTube, and also TikTok. Please follow me to see more.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Oh, and then I do open mic at Uptown Comedy Quarter on Mondays.
Yes, check her out. Thank y'all. See y'all next time. Conscious Intercourse.
Much gratitude. Conscious Intercourse.